Now, the tragedy of Tom Phillips and his three children have shocked the country and made global headlines. For 4 years, we've watched and worried and wondered as Phillips had his children in the woods and the forest of the Western Waikato region. Now that the children are safe, many questions are being aimed at just how these kids came to be caught up in such a drama. While few families will ever experience something this extreme, at its heart was a custody battle, one that shows just how damaging unresolved parental conflict can be for children. Research shows that children caught in these disputes can suffer serious psychological effects. Yet one expert says a solution isn't always court battles, and safe, child-inclusive mediation gives kids a chance to share their feelings without having to speak in court, and it can shift the parents' perspectives. Family mediator Jill Goldson stresses that it's not separation itself that harms kids, but the ongoing arguments and control struggles between the adults. And she joins me now. Jill, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
Thank you for your time today. As you have said, the Tom Phillips case is the extreme end of the wedge. But everyday families across the country are going through custody battles. And before we get into it more, Jill, can you just tell us a little bit about your expertise in this field?
Yes, thanks for that, Leah. I've been working with families for about 3 decades and researching as well as working with families themselves clinically. I've worked very hard lobbying to have children included in the out-of-court mediation process. I've also just had a book published this year called Child Inclusion in Parenting Dispute Mediation, the key to keeping family separation out of court. So, yes, it's an area that I've been very, very focused on, training other mediators, writing and working with families myself. So that's
because how it works at the moment, Jill, and look, I've got to be honest, I don't know. So if a family is breaking up and they do go to court, do the children currently, the way it stands, do the children have to appear in court, or is it just all up to what the parents say?
Okay. So here's the thing. What I'm trying, along with colleagues, very hard to promote is the fact that, quite rightly, families are very, very discouraged from going to court. In fact, it's very difficult for them to go to court if they haven't done a mediation or FDR, which is Family Dispute Resolution. Now, the problem is there are loopholes to get out of that, quite rightly, in some cases, mental ill health or violence. But most of all, any family that's having parenting disputes about children, which comes under the Care of Children Act, need to and are hugely advised to go to an out-of-court, confidential process called Family Dispute Resolution.
Okay.
And can I just add, Leah, because this is really important, in July this year, that provision was fully funded by the government. Now, sadly, that information has not been widely disseminated, and it should be, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to once again make this very clear. It doesn't cost to do this process. Yeah.
It doesn't cost either party?
No, neither party. It's taxpayer funded, and it's an incredibly important provision. Not only are the costs in court eye-watering in terms of expense, they're also profoundly emotionally costly for families who get caught up in them. My disclaimer is some cases need to go to court, and I can say more about that. Yeah.
Sure. So just to make it clear, when you say fully funded, you're talking mediation side, not fully funded to go to court.
No, not fully funded to go to court.
No.
So it's not means tested. Anyone and everyone can get mediation, fully funded, now, immediately, quickly. Yeah.
Okay. You say, Jill, that when parents are locked in conflict, children often bear the emotional cost.
Well, completely. And I think it's a bit of tip of the iceberg. I think I heard you quoting one of the statistics I use in my writing, which is that 1 in 4 children go on to develop formal mental health diagnoses as a result of being caught up in parental acrimony. That probably is tip of iceberg, and I see a lot of extremely unwell children who are helped in the end because I'm able to support them by talking to their parents about how those children are doing, not what they are saying. That's lawyer for child territory. I find out how children are feeling, and when that is communicated to the parents, it can make a huge sea change in terms of the parents' willingness to find some sort of resolve for the child in their parenting dispute.
Yeah. How quickly, Jill, in your experience, should families seek mediation once it's obvious the conflict is starting?
The day before,
Oh.
basically. It's really
It's
really,
essential.
really important. And,
Yeah.
you know, what is offered out there is timely. So delay is absolutely the friend of distress, despair, and illness, and for parents, not just children. Of course, I'm an advocate for children. I'm also an advocate for families. When families separate, they become rearranged families, and we've really got to get rid of the stigma, shame, and propaganda about separation. And I think the Phillips case, sadly, tragically, has brought that home yet again in an extreme way.
Yes. Court battles aren't always the solution, and you advocate, and you've talked a lot about that it's important that the child or the children get heard.
Yeah.
Is it important that the parent or the parents get to hear how the children is how it's affecting them, or do they want to? Because it must be stressful and hard for kids to open up. I mean, is it, again, in your experience, oh, I've lost her. She just fell off there, Kelly. You might need to grab her back. Oh, dear. That was Jill Goldson. Oh, look, she's just called back there. I'll grab her, Cal, because otherwise it'll be all of us trying to talk to her at once. Hello, Jill.
Yes, the call dropped out. I don't know why.
That's all right. No, look, good.
Okay.
I'll re-ask the
Yes.
question. I was just
Please.
basically asking, you're saying how important it is for the child or the children to be heard. Is it difficult, though? I could imagine it's so stressful on children themselves to talk about it. How do you even get them to talk about their feelings?